Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. This is Jack Brick coming to you live from the Lego room. I hope you're all doing well. I know I am. This is a little video, a short video about bricked Lego name signs. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit about the technique I used for the sign in the middle, which is the sign of Brickstone. It's a decorative sign that could be, well, for instance, at a big park or anything like that, or well, it could be on top of the building with the technique, I guess. But anyway, the more common techniques, of course, you'll know the technique used from the Lego designers, which is featured in the pet shop set. We'll get to that in a minute. And of course the most simple technique, which I used here, which is just having a plate and placing some of those little awesome tiling to make your letters, or in this case your numbers. Now, to throw you all in a little suggestion for everyone who doesn't really got excited when Lego Dots appeared. This is my Lego Dots collection at this point, and putting away the books, I think it's really good to mention that if you want to do this kind of signage, so you do want to go in bricking something and not using stickers or some other custom creations, then Lego Dots is really a source of a lot of those little tiles. Now, Lego Dots has the extra bag series and this box thing. Look at this, it's really filled with different angled pieces, and as you can tell, there are a lot of them and in numerous colors. So if you want to be creative and do all your signs with Lego bricks instead of something else, this technique is, well, I guess economically speaking, a way you should definitely need to consider. And the small tip is try to catch some dots in some sort of sale, then you definitely know you have a lot of bricks to make one of those name signs, or several. Now, to get into the technique of the pet shop a little bit, I'm going to twist this a little. As you can tell, let me remove the old classic monkey. Oh wait, his paw is stuck. That's better. As you can tell, Lego used a few bars, placed snot, right? And all the lettery sections are created with just small pieces, 1 by 2, 1 by 1. And they're built vertically, as you can tell, with some just regular building. And those are, some of them are clips, so you're able to clip them on one of those bars, and then you have a pretty firm construction. This doesn't fall off. It's perfect. It's all stuck in between. Remove this so you can see a little bit better. Yeah, so this is one of the ways LEGO themselves designed those bricked name signs. Now, of course, like I said, I made this video to get into, I think, kind of an illegal technique, but I have grown pretty fond of it, and I think it's less of what do you call it? It's less dependent on the constraints when you have to attach the bricks with clips. So if we take out the Brickstone name sign, I maximum lowered the camera now, so it's nice and up close. You can definitely read the name of Brickstone here. And to be honest, some parts are falling out when you handle it like this, but well, that's not the way it works, right? You integrate it in a building and then it's disappeared. So let me just remove top sections. Yeah. Stuff is already falling out. What kind of letter was that? The S. I really don't remember now how this was positioned. Like so. So, I'm squeezing my brain on how did I ever create the S. Don't bother, don't bother. Let me just take a sec. I'll be back with you in a minute. Yeah, I found it. Of course, it's always more easy than you come to think. Now, for starters, I need to pick something out here. You see, this is just a row of different shapes and sizes of bricks, but all the smaller ones. And here is, in fact, a little bar placed behind because I had the opportunity to do so. And it is positioned there to be sure that this little pile of bricks doesn't disappear, because they're really essential for the letter R. But the main idea of it is that you can, without any frame surrounding it, without any base, you should just cleanly go into stacking up your bricks, like I did here. Here's one. It's a single square stud, it's one with clip, and just a flat black tile. And when I position it like this, I just have a stack of black and white here. with a white tile that's sticking out on the back. I'll explain that in a minute. And this creation, which is positioned like so. And what do you know? We have the letter S. So I just went through with everything I had in my stack of bricks, and when I had that row of letters, I was able to think about creating some kind of frame. So it started out with just a base. This is an entire row of 2x4 red bricks. So it's 4 deep, 2 wide, and they all are held together with the back wall, which just consists out of it's really hard to remember. You need to keep talking when you're doing something with your Legos. In recent videos we've all seen how this works. Even when I'm together with someone else, this happens. So let me show you the back. This is just the row of those 2x4s, and then these are just 1x, like 1x2, 1x8 and 1x10. Just bricks that I had lying around. But this back wall for the lettering makes sure that my letters stay on the place they need to be. Now, if I pick out a few, like for instance these, then it comes to show that there is one row of smooth tiling. Now, I went for gray, it doesn't matter. I went for gray, but you can pick any color you want because you are not going to see this in your final build. And when you've created the box, like the bottom section and the back, and you have that one row of smooth tiling all the way down, you can add another layer of really important just 1x stuff next to it. They do need to have some studs. This is really important because this is part of the mechanism that keeps your letters in place. I must say, by the way, I once had a request of doing what I am doing now, and the request itself was a really long time ago because I didn't get around to it before. So I hope, if the one who requested this, to give an inside look on how I've created this lettering. If you're watching this, I would be really pleased because I promised you that I would share this, and I finally got around to it. So I hope you're watching this, and well, leave a comment if you like it. If you remember that you asked the question in the first place. Now, to what I did was making sure that everything stays in its position, right? So I have this random row now of stacked Lego bricks, and I need to be sure that they stay where they should be staying. So if possible, of course, use bricks that it's only one layer. Then you even could make this 3 instead of 4 studs deep. But, well, by the time I made this one, which is a while ago, bricks were more limited. So what I did was just go ahead with bricks I did have, and this obviously was the final outcome. But to manage that, I used clips with a bar, like you can see here. Like you can't see here because it's too dark, but you can see the clips, right? Look, it's a black bar. Clips with a bar over here. Here I positioned just a little stack of 2 single stud pieces, which are the regular bricks. Here was more space, so I was able to work with 1x3 bricks, and here is another space, 1x2, and also if you look inside in there as well. And well, that stuff is keeping my row of letters at the place where I want them. Now, of course, this was meant to be like a welcoming sign at the edge of a city or maybe in the park. So I created this just to stand out freely, and it stood at the train station for a while when we had our first layout. And now I'm kind of questioning what the right yeah, I think I do remember. Like, I was thinking, like, look, I have this is the top, right? So it's smoothly tiled, so this wall here seems to continue on top of the letters and be a bit wider. I placed some single stud and clip and brick underneath these where they would be useful, again, to keep those letters in place. Now, this one didn't need one, but this one did. So I've deconstructed this and I need to construct it again now for you all to see. So it's kind of a hassle to get the right order, but I found it. Now, what I'm going to do now is just use these and place them back on top. And I have this strategically positioned bricks to be sure to, well, I guess disappear in this empty section. Keep it like this, you guys can see. So, right, these are going to turn and fall into those openings. So that will make sure that my row of letters, in this case, I think, yeah, it's just up to the eye of brick, so bri. These will keep those stacked little pieces with those letters. It will keep them at the front and make sure they don't shift to the back when I'm lifting this base plate. So now my B, R and I are really just stuck in there, as they should be. And this just continues. I have a single stud here. It should go into the hole that was just there. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Now I can show you more now. So here are those single pieces, right? And this one has clips, not to clip on anything, but to make sure it doesn't move away too much. So now this is just 2 sloped cheese wedges with the 1x2, all in black, and I can position that right here. So it makes sure that the K is actually a K. I think, yeah, this is my T. and a part of the O. Oh, I need to do the S again, but I do know how it works this time. Which is really cool. Almost forgot how that worked. Now I remember. Am I going the right way now? B-R-I-C-K-S-T-O, yeah. So these are the sides of the O. And top and bottom. This was such a fun build. It took me like 2 hours. But when it was finished and I managed to actually achieve the result of naming, I went bananas. Now, the W became quite big. If I keep it like this, you guys can see how this is created, I guess. These are, again, the cheese sloped wedges. And these are as well, but in black. So they would kind of disappear being the background. So I got that all back together. I need to reposition this one a little bit so I'm sure that my single stud will go in there. Yep, there we go. Yeah. And this one, oh yeah, good to mention before I put it together completely. Two things. Thing one, the top of your letters needs to be either smooth or studded. So it can be both. I went for smooth because I have all these vertical positioned and snot created stuff. But I must say, devil is in the details. These two shades were positioned the wrong way. The one being just a single plate wider. Now I hacked a little bit with that W, right? So here's a white piece of Tynan, which makes sure it actually is a W. So I haven't positioned anything bricks in front of that one, but that white little horizontal tile is part of that layer in the. And getting back to those two things, like it doesn't matter if you have studs here or not, but it can be really tricky because you're going to use plates to create spacing where necessary between letters. So if you do go with studs, you might just end up with studs on exactly the wrong places. So I would recommend, if you're able to, prevent that the top row of your letters doesn't have any studs. Now something else. If you are the lighting kind of guy or girl, then I do suggest that you go for the 4 stud deep technique. Even if you integrate this in a building, if you integrate it in, like, say, the front of a building, you do have the ability to make something 4 stud deep just disappear into the build. I'm really convinced of that. And if you're into lighting, you should, because then you are able to leave some space between your lettering, position your wiring in the back row where it's mostly hollow, right? So your cables are not going to break or get stuck, and you can leave your LEDs there. So if you're a light kind of guy or girl, this technique could make you help with making a lighted or lit name sign. Yeah, well, I'm pretty much done. You see one brick underneath that goes behind the W. And when this is pressed on, like so, I have this row of letters, which obviously reads Brickstow. And is obviously a smooth part of this little wall, including an old sticker. Let's ignore that. I wasn't really like going all Scrooge McDuck in my red brick stack. But it does have a masonry brick, or as I like to call them, a brick. But you have obviously your row of letters, and only the W parts are falling out because it's a W. But all the other letters just stay where they are. So it's my own fault that I, together with Kev, Don, the guys, and it was kind of my fault that we came to the name of Brickstow or something. Something they said triggered me, but I got to this based on Barstow. So it's my fault there's a W, and that's just a really complex letter to do in this technique. But besides that, I've showed, I've shared, and now it's up to you guys. I would say, go nuts. Brick your own name. Brick the name of your city. Whatever you build it and name it and create that name. You could even use this at the bottom of a display or anything. I reckon if you have a Mills creation which counts, well, the minimum of, I guess, 1, 2, even if your Mills plates use only the height of 3 bricks, then you can integrate something like this with a lot of flexibility into what letters you want to create. Loads of fun. You should try. This was this week's video. See you in Brickstow. This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by Jack Brick. If you like our videos, subscribe and hit on that bell so you'll be sure you are not going to miss out on our next video. See you in Brickstow.